I'm not watching, so you have to tell me if we're live. Live and in Memorex.
Hello, Gun Nation.
Hello. I'm just double checking to see if we're live. That says we're live. There we are.
Live.
All right, so we're live. Hello, hello. It is now 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for all those out there who have been anxiously awaiting our arrival here. As you know, it's our weekly chat, and tonight I'm actually on it for a change. So how's the things going there, Big Johnson?
Good. How are you, man?
Oh, I'm just splendid. We were talking off camera, and I was telling him I finally installed the Apex CZ75 decocker kit, and my God, what a pain in my ass. That's all I can say. It was very challenging, to say the least, because I lost some things, broke some things, had to replace some things, but ultimately I got the job done. And right now it seems to be working pretty well. It's a very nice, smooth take up. Really like the hammer they put in here. It's a very nice hammer. But it seems like it's working. So, oh, and I also put some more of those TFX Tritium, whatever those are. Tritium, I forget what they're called. Tritium Pros. So I got those for this as well. So we're going to shoot it, see what happens. Hopefully it works. And then we go from there.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't just go bang and blow up.
I know. So that's it. And I did make a couple of purchases recently, and I'm just waiting for them to come in. But I don't really tell anybody what it is. Not yet. So what do you got going on?
I just picked up one today that I had purchased a little while ago, and I've already been playing around with it, and I got it customized the way I wanted it. So it's up on Instagram if anybody wants to check it out. Yeah, it's definitely made it my own. Definitely made it my own. And I had him do some stuff to the frame, because I didn't like the way the factory did the frame because of my hand and my knuckle on the side. So he actually did some blending on it for me and kind of took some stuff in, and man, now it's butter. I mean, that thing fits really, really good.
Did you say butter?
Butter, not parquet, butter.
So a couple of things. Kathleen's been asking me for about 2 weeks now if I've actually shot the Phantom with those sights. And the answer is no, I actually haven't. I haven't done any shooting, actually. I've been extremely busy. Actually, last weekend I was in Pennsylvania lacrosse tournament. This weekend I'll be in New Jersey lacrosse tournament. So I'm not doing diddly squat in regards to guns until after this weekend. Kids come first. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, it is what it is. Well, I'll get it done. So just hold on and hopefully, you know, hopefully it works better. It would suck if it doesn't.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. So what, let's see, Screaming Skulls Saloon is saying, I finally ordered the Apex Tactical Mag release for his CZ P10C. Yeah, I've got 2 of those, and both of my old P10Cs and those Apex Mag releases make a huge difference. You can take the factory one out and grind it and do all this other shit to it, but I'm just like, screw all that. I mean, it literally takes 5 minutes or 2 minutes to put that thing in, and it makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah. And you know, one of the things that kind of an related thing that I was just talking about, you know, in regards to installing CZ parts and stuff, you know, if I was going to recommend anything, I would recommend get a Glock. Because, you know, this is now I think the 3rd or the 4th install with springs and everything. And some parts are easy to do. It's not a big deal. But once you start dabbling with that damn sear cage, listen, all bets are off. All I know is pray to God that you don't do something wrong, or if a spring gets missing. I mean, it's a mess. It's a disaster for me. Maybe not for any of you experts out there who are, you know, tapping your keyboard right now. But for me, it was a friggin' mess on this P01 green, you know. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a video comparing all 3, because I've got stuff obviously from Cajun, I've got stuff from M Carbo, and now I've got stuff from Apex. And, you know, there is a definitive winner between the 3 in regards to how it actually makes the gun feel. Interestingly enough, poundage-wise, you don't see a huge jump or difference between the 3, but there is definitely a difference in feel when you're pulling a trigger on one of the 3. And I can't wait to make that video, because I think people are going to be surprised which one actually comes out on top. Or maybe not.
Yeah. Yeah, and Pat is saying he purchased the FN509 midsize Misses with the, I'm sure he's got the Hollow Sun 507C, loving it, especially with the red dot. Yeah, that's awesome, Pat. Those 507s or 509s are awesome pistols.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind trying to get one of those M's, but right now I'm just completely tapped. And actually, all right, so I'll just say what I did. So anyway, I was looking for something, and I wound up buying another Glock. I swore I'd never get one again because whatever. But then I started working on these CZs, and I said, there is a reason why people go back to Glocks so often, I think, and that's just the ease from which you can work with them. So I didn't go with a Gen 5. I was looking at Gen 5s. What does that say? Nobody can see that. It's white paper. Yeah, it says 12th one. No, it's probably like my 9th or 10th one, but I wound up getting a Glock 19, and I wanted to get a Gen. I got a Gen 4, but I got a good price for it. I paid $400, brand new, Battlefield green. It's one I owned before, and I should never have sold. But so that's going to be coming back. That's going to be coming back, and I'm really excited because it's probably going to go out for some work, and probably going to get it milled for a dot on there and whatever, and just go from there. But I'm really excited about that. I also am going back in time and revisiting another gun, but that one I'm kind of too embarrassed to talk about. So I'm not.
No, I already wrote it down, so you got to talk about it.
Oh, you did? Shit.
Yeah, I wrote it down. I want to show it.
So I wound up getting another CZ P10C. That's right. That probably is my 50th, actually. And so the reason why I did was because I wanted to actually go back and just go a little simpler with some of the guns. And don't get me wrong, I love my CZs. They're going to go absolutely nowhere, but it definitely made me appreciate the ease from which you can work with other handguns. And I think that's something that always needs to be talked about. And the CZ I got for $325. So I was like, shit, why not? You couldn't beat it. So that's where I'm at, going back in time.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, they're great guns. I know you had problems with one out of all of them that you had, but it got fixed. And, I really doubt you'll have any more problems. But, and I did pick up another toy too, but I'm not going to show it or talk about it yet.
Well, that's not fair. I disclosed mine. You should disclose yours. Just do it. Damn it.
It starts with a 5.
You got a 509. Yeah, I think I've seen that. Oh, but there's a but. What's the but?
It's not stock.
Ooh. Mm-hmm. So you got a 509 that shoots laser beams out of it.
Lasers.
Laser beams.
Yeah, but I picked it up from having some goodies done to it.
Well, that's okay. That's all right. I am going to be sending out the Masada. I'm going to get some work done. I can't stand the grip on that thing. It's just, no, it's too smooth, but the gun is great, and I'm not going to do anything else with it. But I can't wait to really just do some stuff. And, like I said, I'm having fun right now, man. I'm just having fun.
Yeah. Well, I told you, if you find guns that you really, really like, or you get just incredible deals on, and you're not going to sell it, I mean, why not make it yours? Do what you want to make it right, and just enjoy them, man. Because flipping and doing all this and buying guns for just YouTube videos and stuff, that's not me. I've really never done that. I buy them for what I want and, I like and stuff like that. But it comes to the point where rather than searching for the next great pistol, other than the DWX, I just say fix up what, make them the way you want them and shoot them. Like, that I'm not a huge Glock guy, but after that 19X is customized, I love that freaking Glock. Sure. That thing is, but it's not stock. Matter of fact, it doesn't even say Glock anywhere on the gun, and it doesn't say 19X anywhere on the gun anymore. Yeah, but it's awesome.
I mean, if I was going to revisit Glock full time, probably would go. It just depends on price. Like I said, I was looking at Gen 5s, and I really wanted a Gen 5. But then when I saw the difference, I mean, we're talking almost over $100 difference. And I mean, is it really worth getting a marksman barrel? I mean, is it that much of a step up? I don't know. I mean, I'll probably throw an Apex trigger in there, so that's going to do stuff with the trigger there itself. But I thought at the end of the day, I'd rather save a little bit of money and get something I can use and customize a little bit and do what I want with it, and also have a really lightweight, good carry gun. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely work, and there's nothing wrong with them. I mean, I've always said, shoot what you enjoy, not what other people tell you to get. But the only thing about the Gen 4 for me is the finger grooves do not fit my fingers. So it's like, trying to hang on to some bumps. It just doesn't work.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to address this now so that we can stop all the speculation, boys and girls. So first thing, as you guys know, if you follow my channel, and I'm sure Big Johnson's channel, we are 100% above board with everything we do. We don't bullshit. We don't lie. We just say whatever comes to our head for the most part. And sometimes it gets us in trouble. So we've been getting a lot of questions for KS. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Okay. So I'm just going to disclose it right now. He's doing whatever the hell he wants to do. And that's it. Does it mean that he's gone for good? I honestly couldn't tell you. I really can't. Does it mean he's going to come back to the chat? Honestly, I don't know. I have no idea. I know that we've had some talks. I know that he's just doing things that he wants to do for himself. And I don't think I have a problem with that. I really don't. But, you know, if that hopefully answers the questions, it's not a personal vendetta, a personal grudge. It's not that he hates us. Maybe he does. I don't know. But it's just he's doing his own thing. And you know what? If he's happy doing it, God bless him. You know, we're going to continue doing this. I think we had an honest conversation about whether or not we were going to continue this chat. And I know that myself and Big Johnson have said that this is our chat and we're going to keep doing it for as long as you guys want to watch it. So, you know, with that said, there's no hard feelings here with anybody. It's just that he's decided to do his own thing and branch off into his own path of whatever it is in life that he wants. And again, I don't fault him for that. I don't fault anybody who does that. I don't know if I'm going to be here forever. And I probably won't be. I mean, at some point I'm going to probably say, all right, that's that. But right now, that's where it's at, guys. So I hopefully that will answer your questions, guys.
Yeah. I mean, we've definitely been asked a ton, and, you know, I mean, and I just talked to him last night. I mean, it's not any ill will. He's just, you know, doing his own thing right now. And we got to, you know, respect him for that. So, but yeah, we definitely want to continue the chat. We enjoy it, and you guys and ladies mean a lot to us, and we have a hell of a good time doing this. So we're not gonna
and honestly, if you watch some of the other chats out there, I don't really think there's, I mean, there's some chats out there that run and run and run and run. I mean, I've seen people do like 6-8 hour chats, and most of the time it's horse shit. You know, we're not here to waste your time. We're here to talk guns. We're here to just kind of take questions if we can. And answer them, and also learn. I mean, some of the crap that I don't know, I learn from all of you, and that's why we do it. Yeah,
well, it's always good to learn something every day.
Yep.
But let's see here. There was a question.
Oh, and you guys can also see that big lump on my. That's the remnants of my eye infection.
Yeah,
it was a doozy, man.
Oh, come on now. You know your wife punched you in the face.
Oh, I know. I wish she would have. It would have been much easier.
Yeah.
So let's see. All right. So I want to bring something up to you. So, you know, there's always this chat about, you know, whether or not we have a right to do this or right to do that in regards to firearms. So, you know, just down in your neck of the woods, there was those people who were, you know, traveling the United States. They went down to Paris Island, I believe it was, or whatever it is. And they were murdered. They were murdered. They found their bodies buried on a beach. And now, of course, they have video or pictures of the guys who probably did it. And, you know, it always brings back to that idea that, you know, the Second Amendment and the ability to own firearms isn't just about hunting. It is about your preservation. Thank you. And I think at this point, Padre Island, South Padre Island, that's where it was. You know, I think at this point, I don't know if there is any other way to define why the Second Amendment is so important for the majority of us who own firearms, who enjoy firearms, and are not about to commit crimes. You know, you have a right to protect yourselves. You have a right to carry that with you and to make sure that nobody does harm to you. And I just wonder if things like this should be publicized more, and using it, and as horrible as it sounds, using it as part of the strategy of understanding why the Second Amendment needs to be preserved.
Yeah, exactly. And just like, you know, you heard about the, I think she was a pregnant woman and used an AR-15 to defend her family and, you know, killed the bad guys. And I mean, there's a reason to have weapons. I mean, you know, back in the old days, you know, cavemen, you know, had sticks and rocks and shit like that. I mean, you can't win a knife fight without a knife or out a gun. I mean, it just doesn't matter. Somebody's coming at you with a tire iron. What are you going to do? You're going to get a broken arm trying to deflect it. But, you know, you need to be able to protect yourself. And all this crap saying, and, you know, especially for you too, you know, if you travel on vacation or someone travels on vacation with their family and they're driving across enemy lines, you know, so to say, and they have to, you know, you can't have a gun in this state that you're driving through, or you have to have it locked up in a box and all this other stuff. Piss on that. That's just horseshit. You know,
Right.
you can't pull over and tell the bad guy, hang on, let me unlock my box and get my gun out and then get my mag out of a separate box and load it real quick and then defend my family.
Mm.
You know, that's horseshit. And we don't have to deal with that in Texas and the states that I personally travel. That's why some states I won't freaking set foot in. I will not give them my money and I won't go there, period. You know, we should be able to go 50 states with any gun that we own. And, you know, because, I mean, I'm in Texas. I can carry in all my local states around me and stuff like that. And if I need to go to California, I should be able to drive all the way to California with my gun and use it in California. I mean, for God's sakes, I've been fingerprinted. I've been put through the ringer, and I'm a good guy. I am not a bad guy.
Sure. I know.
You know, I mean, and it's going to come to a point where if this shit still keeps getting out of control, you can consider me an outlaw. I mean, period. I don't care, because the bad guys are going to have them no matter what.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
I'll just say that out loud.
I just think it's a foolish thing to think that people should disarm themselves when you know the criminals are not. But,
yeah,
you know, I guess these are discussions that are going to be had at the political level. And I guess we're going to see how it all plays out for the rest of us average folks in America.
Yeah. Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself.
Sure he did. That's what all the hot ladies say, right?
Oh, man.
So what else is going on? I mean, anything else like big in your area that you want to talk about, or?
Still excited about the DWX. I know they're not going to come out with it till next year, but
I don't even know what that is.
That's the Dan Wesson. That's the 1911
slash one that's like $14,000 or something like that.
No, actually, man, for the price what you're getting, $17.99, and I mean, it's cheaper than Wilson Combat. It's cheaper than a lot of pistols, but you're getting a lot of bang for the buck, and it probably will sell for MSRP. I've never seen Dan Wesson lower than MSRP. If it is, it's $100. But I mean, for everything you're getting on that pistol, it probably would be a great pistol, and that would be a pistol, and it's heavy. I think it's 46 ounces, but that would actually be a full-size pistol that I would carry in an outside waistband with a coat over it. But I would carry that pistol cocked and locked. So that is something I think a lot of people are excited about.
Now, if you wore a long coat, would you be naked under the coat, or would you have clothes on?
Who knows? It could go either way.
Anything goes at that point, right?
That's what I'm talking about. You never know.
Way to live dangerously, sir. Way to live dangerously.
Exactly.
So let's see. Andrew Cuomo is letting almost 900 people out of jail, baseball tickets, movie passes, and gift cards. Yep. That's nothing new. That was his plan. That ensures the voters, the voters coming back to him and all that other great stuff. Lovely state.
Harry, get it in the 9. Unless you're shooting major power factor in competition, there's no reason to get a 40.
Harry, get whatever you want.
He won't get a 40. He's just stirring the pot.
All right, let's see. Rotodima is saying, the more you spend on money, or the more money you spend, doesn't mean the gun is a better gun. You can defend your life with a $300 gun. You're absolutely true. Yep. We're seeing that more. Oh, and by the way, this was kind of cool. The Beretta APXs are now much, much cheaper. As a matter of fact, if you guys go on Gunbroker right now, you can find APXs brand new for $350. I'm not kidding. $350 brand new. So I think I'm going to try to get another one, to be honest with you.
Yeah. If you like it, there's nothing. I always say double up, because I mean, if you have one down, or what a lot of people can do is have one for self-defense, and of course run it and test it, but then have one for range use to practice with, and one for concealed carry if you don't want to put that many rounds through your carry gun. Right. But shit, do it, man. But I've always said that people can defend themselves with a high point, $180 gun. You don't have to have an expensive gun to defend yourself. I just prefer, and it can be a cheaper gun, but with a better trigger and better sights and stuff like that, or better dot or a dot, just in case I had to take that little bit more distant shot for accuracy. If you've ever shot a hostage target where you've got a chest and then a hostage, that swings right above it, I mean, you've got to take small shots sometimes. I mean, in a competition, but I'd try to treat that as if it were real life too.
All right, so I just want to go through this really quick. So right now I'm looking at Gunbroker, and they have a full size for $329 brand new. They have a compact for $339.99 brand new, a Centurion for $339.99. Now, keep in mind, you got to pay for the shipping and shit, but whatever, who cares?
Yep.
And then you got those stupid APX carries. Those, those are a waste of money, in my opinion. Another compact for $339.99. Another Centurion. They have the all FDE full size for $349.99, which is the one I'm looking for. So, I think I might be getting one of them.
Yeah.
So totally worth it. I mean, I'm shocked that they're doing it, to be honest with you. And the RDOs are the ones that are more expensive. I think those are up still at like $540 or $549. But if you think about it, it's still cheaper than Glock. It's still cheaper than the FNs. Not as cheap as the Masada, but still relatively low priced. So I mean,
and for that price, you can also buy it, and then you could have it milled by someone who knows how to mill one.
Well, that's the thing. There's not a lot of people who do. There's only one that I've seen, and they charge like $350 to get it done. It's just not worth it.
Yeah, no, it's not in that case. But and yes, Kathleen, you can defend your life with an SP01, no problem, even a factory one.
Yeah, I'm really the striker fired Ernst Langdon. Sure, maybe they'll have 1776 Beretta or some shit, but I doubt it. Yeah. I doubt it because I give them a lot of crap on their website because their advertisements piss me off, and I can't stand the fact that there's not a lot of aftermarket anything for these guns. So I always kind of troll them a little bit on Instagram and shit, make fun of them. Say, oh hey, here's another advertisement for a sweatshirt. Wow, that's exciting.
There you go.
Let's see the 500th advertisement for a hunting shotgun. Like, really? Come on, Beretta. Get with the times, man.
They do make some nice shotguns.
Yeah, that's great, but it's, they make some nice handguns too.
Yeah, but if you really look at it, I bet you in the shotgun world, they sell a hell of a lot of shotguns.
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean, so you got to pick your poisons, but they make some really nice shotguns. And they're not cheap either. I mean, some of them are, but they make some high-end shotguns too.
So it's not a sale. They've actually reduced all the prices across the board, and supposedly it's permanent. So I don't know why that is. I hope they're not going to say, oh, we're going to discontinue the APX now, unless they're coming out with some sort of Gen 2 model or something.
Now, it could be because of the MOS. Maybe they're going to start making everything in MOS, kind of like the CZ. So they're kind of lessening the price, like the old CZ P10Cs, the non-MOS versions. To move those out so they can get more of the optic ready ones in. So that's a big possibility there. Speaking of Beretta, I don't know if anyone follows him, but JJ Ricazza, he's a USPSA shooter. You need to go on his Instagram and check out the Beretta they made for him for his open gun or his carry optic gun. Holy crap, that thing is beautiful. It's a 92X and it's completely tricked with an optic. I mean, it is awesome.
All right, so we got a couple of questions here. What are your thoughts on the FDE PX4 Storm Compact? I mean, I like it. It's a nice gun. It's a little odd shaped. It still doesn't have the best ergos. I mean, it's a nice gun. I mean, if you can find it affordably, why not jump on it? But I don't think they're going to be cheaper than the APX models right now. So
I've shot the Storm Compact. It shoots really good and it's super accurate. However, the Compact is just way too small for me. Matter of fact, even the full size grip is a little small just for hand size. Most people don't have hands like me, but it's a great shooting pistol, and you can put the Langdon kit in it too and make it even better.
So Rot05 is saying, how are the serrations on the APX? Max said it was hard to rack the slide. I don't see how it's hard to rack the slide on this gun. I mean, honestly all my CZs are harder to rack than this gun. Super easy to do, rear or front. I mean, I don't have any issues with it at all. So, each to his own, but I have no problems racking that slide.
I think Mac was saying like when his hands were wet and bloody and muddy and all that other
covered in fake blood and all that other stuff.
I mean, it might not be the best, but I mean, hell, you can use your rear sight or whatever you need to do. If it's an optic, you can even use your optic if you have to get the gun back going. So let's say do what you need to do.
I agree with what Paul H is saying. I wish they would have released a real carry APX as opposed to the refurbed Nano.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That thing's a train wreck.
Trying to go through any of this shit here. Rabbi Jesus is trolling me. Thank you, sir. I am on their teat. I
Uh-oh.
love everything they make. That's not true. I don't love everything Beretta makes. All right, I do. I love everything. I love everything except for the carry, the APX carry. And they're paying me to say that, guys. Let's see. Thoughts on our military helping Mexico with their cartel problem? Obviously, Mexico can't control them. I don't think Mexico can control anything. I mean, the cartels are running wild, man. It's, you know, they likened it to terrorists, and they're absolutely right. I mean, look what they did to that poor family of Mormons, man. They just brutalized them. They brutally murdered all those people, then burned babies. I mean, it's like, how do we even justify that?
Well, and this isn't something that just started. This has been happening for years and years and years and years. I mean, you go to Juarez, or I go to El Paso, and hell, in Juarez, that stuff happens all the time. I mean, it's kind of common knowledge, but it's kind of like, do we pick our battles? Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, we could go over there and make that place a sand dune if we needed to, but I mean, we've got stuff. And I've said this before, we've got homeless veterans, we've got mentally ill people, we've got everything in the world going on here, and pumping all this cash out to other countries and stuff. And I'm not saying just Mexico, but other countries.
Sure.
I mean, we got to take care of our own. We need to definitely step up and help our veterans that are out of the military and even in the military.
I agree. So, Johnny Danger asked, do I have any SIG pistols? I know that you've had and have potentially. How do they shoot? I mean, honestly, I love them. I mean, they shoot really well. I got the 225A1. I got the 229, and they're great. I haven't even shot the 229 yet. I'm so behind on shit. But the 225 is great. I love that gun. I have no complaints. It handles well, shoots well. I'm sure at the height of the bore axis and all that other great stuff. But unlike some other guns, they are flawless in regards to how they handle. So
yeah, I mean, they're not bad guns at all. I mean, I've had several SIGs, and I just recently got another one. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them. It's just, personally, the 320, the P320, then I had one forever. I think there's better carry guns for me than the P320 compact. That's just me personally. I know the X5 carry and stuff is different, but I prefer other pistols than the Sig P320 compact, me personally.
Yeah, but, and even with me, I definitely prefer the metal SIGs over the plastic SIGs.
Yeah,
I just think it's a different gun. It's a different beast. Yeah, it's double single action, but I mean, those SRT triggers are I mean, just in my opinion, the best single action triggers with a reset. It's hard to beat an SRT trigger on a SIG. I've yet to find one that can do it.
Well, and a hell of a great trigger is a SAO, on the Legion. I mean, that trigger is really nice.
Mm-hmm. Well, Dennis is saying he took the P10C and SB01 Phantom to the range, still shoots the P10C better than nearly every other pistol I own. And while I like it, it is still my least favorite CZ. I'm just a double action, single action guy at heart. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think a lot of people kind of relate to that. I think that's why you still have so many people who love the P07 even over the P10.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, I mean they're great guns, and and I think it's good to have some striker fire and some double action, single action, and maybe even a single action also, so you can kind of be used to all of those triggers. And you're definitely going to have to train with the double action, single action a little more, but I think they're great guns.
I'm not sure what Channel Cat's trying to get at. Maybe throwing you some shade there. I'm not sure.
He's always throwing shade. Rewatch my videos. I don't know which one he's talking about, but that's one thing. I don't go back and watch all my videos. I don't know if other YouTubers do it, but.
Yeah, Dan O'Neill saying he's got that. The M11 is one that I still would like to get. That's another SIG that's on my list. I don't really have many more SIGs. I like the 229, but I won't get another one. I don't. To me, it's nice, but it's not nice enough to own multiple. The 225 I like just because of single stack and just the way it carries such a nice gun. But that M11 is kind of the in-betweener, even though it's more like the 225 is, but just more capacity. But that would definitely be one on the list. As a matter of fact, if you had a list of 5 guns that you want to buy that exist, not ones that, maybe will be coming out or whatever, what would be 5 guns you'd want to add? I'd just like to know what you would like. And if you can't think of 5, I'll give you 3. How's 3?
Okay, and it can be it can be rifles, pistols, whatever.
Yep. No, let's do. I'm a pistol guy. You know that. Let's do pistols. Forget rifles.
Well, I mean, I know the DWX is coming, so I do want it, the full size. Yeah, he's saying I had a boner on my 320. Yeah, I mean, well, back in the day, I really liked it, and I'm not saying anything's ever wrong with it. It's just times change. I would say the DWX. Okay, I'm gonna throw this one out there because it can be a pistol. I want the CZ Bren 2 in 308.
Okay.
And I want the CZ Bren 2 in 7.62 by 39. I would probably take the Hellcat X2. It is a 2011 custom, like type 2011. God, what is the name of the company? It goes by the Hellcat X2. It's not the Springfield Hellcat. And I would probably maybe get the STI Combat Master.
Mm-hmm. Interesting choices.
Maybe. That's a tough one.
Yeah, I don't really know like what I'd do, to be honest with you. I mean, I just posed the question because I want to hear what you had to say. I think I'd like to get one gun that I like, which I know you're going to give me shit about, and probably so is everybody else. But the one gun that I do want to try, or at least own at some point, is going to be the VP9 SK. I've never owned an SK, but I've handled them, and I actually like the way that gun feels in my hand better than the full size. Yeah. If that makes any sense. It's just, to me, it's just a better feeling gun.
No, so it does. Matter of fact, I actually put my hands on one with the little finger, the little whatever it is, that finger extension thing. Yeah. And it really wasn't that bad. It's kind of a chunky little pig. It reminds me of the 9C. Right. But I bet it would probably shoot pretty good. I've never shot one, but felt pretty good in the hand. And I like VP9s. There's nothing really wrong with them. I just wish they held more capacity.
Yeah. So I definitely would like that. I would like if I could get another SIG, but at high end SIG, I want a P229 Legion. I like those quite a bit. Mm-hmm. I don't really want a 226 big gun, heavy gun. I prefer the 229. And I definitely would like to get an M11. That's one of my other dream guns. Geez, and I think that's really about it. I mean, there's not much out there right now. I actually would like to get a Glock 45. I mean, even that's not a high end gun, but I like the 45 a lot as opposed to just the 19X. Both great guns, but I think I would like to get a 45.
Yeah. Joker's asking the AK-47 or AK-74. I really like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with 7.62 by 39, but I really love 308. So I would take either one of them. I mean, I have a Sega, 7.62 by 39, but I really, really like 308.
Let's see. So Screaming Skull is saying, I did put the P10F upper on the P10C, but I noticed the trigger got lighter and didn't break as crisp for some reason.
Yeah, I think it's actually the, it's a longer slide, and I think it might have to do with possibly the recoil spring. I felt that also, but it shoots fantastic. So shooting it, you don't even notice it, but when you're just dry firing it, you kind of dry fire it and you'll notice a little bit, but it shoots perfect. So I didn't have any issues with it when I shot it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of that, and I've had conversations with people before, and we've even thrown this out there, but what is people's favorite hunting round? Is it 6.5 Creedmoor? Is it 308? Is it 7mm 243? What is it? I was just curious if there's a I want to see kind of what everybody's asking. What is your favorite hunting round? Like if you went hunting, or what's your favorite big round, so to say?
Well, I've never gone hunting, and I don't have any desire to hunt, so I can't give you an educated opinion.
Okay. Well, I mean, what's your favorite rifle round?
Well, it depends. Depends on the rifle. I'll tell you one round that I like quite a bit that most people would never think of is I enjoy shooting a 30-30. It is spec wise just as powerful as a 7.62 by 39. Obviously, you have a round nose, but I just love the punch of that, man. It's enough punch, but not too much punch to make you hurt. And it is always discounted. A lot of people don't want to carry that, but that, a 30-30 round has killed many deer in the Northeast. So I would like that gun, and I like that round, which is a little bit different, but for me, I'll take it.
Yeah, 30-30 is it'll take down what you want to. I own 30-06, 243, 7mm, 8mm. I've got a bunch of big rounds, but the one that I really like the most is 308. I do not have a 6.5. I've shot 6.5 before. It wasn't my rifle, but I've shot 6.5 before, and not that I didn't feel it, but I kind of like to have a little bit of oomph. When I'm shooting those type of rifles, I like to feel them. And the 6.5, it was fine, but it just didn't have the thump that I felt. And I know they'll get on out there. They're designed for, wind and etc. And they'll move way out there. But, I know they'll outshoot a 308. But, if you look at like someone shooting a 308 at steel, say 500 yards, and then you watch someone shoot a 6.5 at the same yardage, the 308 will definitely slam some steel, where the 6.5, it'll hit it and ding it, and it'll move it, but it does not rock it like a 308.
All right.
But the wind will kill a 308 eventually.
I'm just reading something really quick, so keep on going. I just had to read this because I'm not sure. We were talking earlier about the Apex kit. Maybe any of you know, but we couldn't remember if the purple is carry or competition. I'm not sure. I'm thinking the purple is competition. I don't think it's the carry.
I can't remember.
And I'm looking.
It says
you were right. You were right, man. The purple spring is the duty carry spring.
I thought I was right.
Damn it. Damn you.
Because I put all the competition ones in mine. I don't put the carry one.
Well, I'm going to be putting the carry one in. I want to make sure that it goes bang. So that's what I'm going to do. So good thing I read that. I couldn't find it earlier. So for those of you out there who are looking at buying that kit, make sure you put the purple in if you're going to carry it with you, just to make sure
you can carry it with the competition. It's just whatever you prefer to carry.
Well, I would hesitate to carry a competition spring for the simple fact that what if it's not igniting primers the way it should?
Well, then that's what we've talked about before. If you're going to have, but if you look at the spring that they give you for the firing pin, that is a softer firing pin spring. So it is supposed to ignite both. But I did have the Apex competition spring compress on me in my Shadow 2, and I had to put another competition spring in it. I had a defective spring, so I was getting light primer strikes, but it fixed it. The spring failed, the competition spring. It wasn't anyone's fault. It's just the spring manufacturer. It did have a problem.
Right. And then one of the things that I saw somebody mention earlier was they dropped their Masada and put a different front sight on there, and they were talking about the fact that the sight they had put on was I believe it was, I can't remember if it was a fiber optic. I can't remember from where, but they were saying that it actually adjusted the point of impact. So that's kind of interesting. And that's another thing. Like I thought about getting co-witnessing sights. I'm not really sure if I'm going to do it or not. I know there's some school of thought saying you should, so in case the optic goes bad, and there's some other school of thoughts saying you really don't need it because you can still hit the target, relatively easily with some practicing. But what are your thoughts on that? What would you do?
Well, on some of mine, I have co-witness sights, some I don't. But the thing that I look at this way, if your optic, okay, put it this way, if your optic goes down, you still have the window to see through. And, if you're trying to go for a chest at, 7 or 10 yards, you're probably going to take it out, no problem, even just point shooting. And I proved that in the video. I point shooted, I think I was 10 yards, and I kept a really tight group. But, for someone who hasn't shot a lot of pistols or maybe aren't used to it, point shooting, I would say do what you need to do. However, if you look at it this way, if your window, say, you dropped your gun in the mud and you had mud all over your window, you can't see through the window to see your front sight anyway. So you're going to have to try to clean it off. But, I don't know. There's some people that, and there's big people out there that are like, you know, I don't use co-witness sights. But then there's some people that they only use co-witness sights on them. So, you know, during a competition, if it went down, you can be lost without, you know, you're just going to point shooting, you know, if you're having to hit small plates farther away. But I just say do what you feel comfortable with.
All right. So I just put in the new purple spring. That's what I was doing while you're talking.
Yeah. It's not hard.
It doesn't feel any different.
Yeah. Well, you'll notice a difference in your double action just slightly.
Sure.
If you check it with your gauge, it'll be just like, I don't think it's drastic, but it will be lighter than what your carry one was. Just in double action, your single action will feel exactly the same.
It's barely higher. You know, we were doing the pulls before. It's probably like another maybe, you know, maybe 4 ounces heavier on the double action, which isn't much.
You mean with a competition?
No, I had the competition in there. I just dropped the duty spring in there.
Oh yeah, no, yes, I was gonna say it'll be just slightly heavier. It's not gonna be drastic.
Double action, the single action's better. Now it's down under 4 pounds. Hello.
On the double action, single action?
Single action is under 4 pounds. It's 3 pounds, 14 ounces. That's obviously only one pull. So let's do it again. Let's see what it goes. Come on. Yeah, now it's 4 pounds, 3.6. So probably around about 4 pounds. You know, that's good, man. That's a good single action trigger. Yeah,
I was gonna say I prefer those, but you know, some people want them a little stiffer.
Yeah, and I think that's okay. I don't think it's there's no right or wrong. You know, it's what you feel good with.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and what you get used to shooting. So train with whatever you do.
Absolutely.
Whatever you use.
Let's see. I haven't been taking any questions, so I don't know if you've seen any out there.
Yeah, you've been playing.
No.
Yeah,
I don't have, it's the only time I can right now. It's been so busy.
Yeah, Ranger 10 is saying the Romeo 1 has a notch in the back, so you can co-witness if needed. Yes, it does have that. Where do you zero it? I don't know who Banshee's asking. He might be asking on the carry optic pistols. I do mine at 15 to 18 yards. Some people do them at 25 only, and I know some people that do them at 10. So, you know, because you can account for your holdover or whatever you need to. But at most, if you go 15 yards on your red dot to set it up, it's pretty much going to hit at 25 yards too. I mean, even if you had to go kind of small, you're just going to be slightly under, slightly over. So, I mean, the dot. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know. I couldn't tell you. I usually go like 7 yards, 10 out. You know, it's I don't really I'm not really an expert on it, to be honest with you.
Yeah. See, Kim saying, don't think the new sight on the P365 will go over very well. I don't either. I've played with it just at the store, not shooting it. And, you know, that Meprolite bullseye sight that they're putting in the back of the P365 SAS, I'm personally not a fan of it. I think it's kind of gimmicky. But, you know, to each their own. If they like it and they can shoot with it, fine. I think you're trying to fix a problem that really didn't exist. I mean, you know, they're saying snag free, you know, it's not like those sights are, you know, 4 inches tall, you know, so I don't know. I don't think there's a reason, and they're paying more for that sight.
But I also think you said it best. You're fixing something that didn't need fixing.
Yeah.
You know, 365 alone is again, you guys would probably say probably one of the best carry guns out there based on size and capacity. And it's more, in my opinion, a gimmick trying to keep it relevant, you know, because I think as much as we like to hate it, you know, you've got that Hellcat thing or whatever it's called. And while people hate it, I mean, it is basically a variant of almost like a 365. It's smaller, I believe, and it holds more capacity. So I think they had to do something to keep the P365 relevant.
Yeah. Keith Gregory is asking, Big J, how many rounds do you have through your Glock 19X? Any malfunctions? I probably have, it's definitely over 4,000 rounds through it. And that's before I had it customized. I mean, before and after customization, that's total rounds. And I haven't had any malfunctions with it.
4,000 rounds? Come on, man.
What?
4,000 rounds?
Yes.
I'm saying bullshit on that.
Okay. Okay. All right. Apparently, you don't see how much ammo I buy and how much I shoot.
I don't live in your house. How do I know?
Yeah.
Or maybe I do. Maybe I'm in your basement. You don't know it.
Yeah. I mean, I posted up on Instagram. I buy 2,000 rounds, quite a bit, probably every couple of months. But no, I shot that 19X. When I first got it, I shot it a whole crap load after I had it customized when I was learning the dots and the comp, testing that comp. Hell, I ran 700 rounds through that gun within like 2 or 3 days. Seriously, I'm not lying.
I'm only messing with you, man. I'm only messing with you. Stop being so sad.
But if you look, I've had that gun for a long time.
I would say the only gun I have close to that is my PPQ.
Yeah.
It's not the only one I have close to that right now. Everything else is gone.
No, I've shot it quite a bit.
So would you say it's your favorite gun?
It is my favorite Glock of all time. Yes. I mean, as far as Glock, it is. And it's probably, now that it's customized, it's one of my favorite guns. Yes.
Would you ever have thought you'd say that?
No. And I've even said that. I mean, I've said it, but I've tried the Glock 19, the regular 19 just doesn't work for me. And then the 34, the grip's just not quite long enough because it's like a 17, but with that little tab at the bottom of the 19X, that tab makes all the difference in the world for me. If I cut the tab off, it would just be a 19 and I wouldn't like it. And I even had the inside of the 19. I talk about it in a video. I had the inside of the 19 of the tab. I had that shaved off. So now I can put Dawson mag extensions in it, because on the 19X with the tab, I could not use Dawson Precision mag plates bases because they were too thick. So when I had him customize it, I had him shave it on the inside so it'll fit any mag I put in it now, mag extension.
So Art is asking you this.
What?
Deadpool, it's on the screen.
19X over the Deadpool Glock. I mean, as a pistol, because really the only reason, or the only, and I've shot the Deadpool Glock just as a pistol. And honestly, I do like the 19X better because it does have that extra little grip on it. But as far as the Deadpool Glock, that's used as a PDW. So I keep that brace on it all the time. And that thing's wickedly accurate. I mean, it's crazy, crazy accurate. So it depends on if you're using a pistol or you want to use a PDW.
So let's see. The Armsman's asking, Hellcat raising a lot of interest recently. Any opinions in considering they sent you guys the XDS a while back for review? They did not send you the Hellcat. Well, they didn't send me anything. Not this time. So I guess they didn't like my review, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. But you know, honestly, I don't really have a desire for those small guns. You know, I just you know, I actually, it's funny because the other day when I was looking around, I was playing around with a Sig P365, the regular one, right? And I don't know what it is about that gun, but every time that damn gun goes in my hand, I absolutely hate it. I just hate the gun. And it just doesn't feel right. I think the way they cut the back off in regards to the grip, it just doesn't feel right in my hand. And, you know, some people would say, well, what do you think you got? Bigfoot hands? And well, I don't know how big Bigfoot hands are, but I personally don't have, I have like large hands. I don't have extra large hands, but I have large hands. And for me, it just doesn't feel right in my hand. I don't know why. And I held that, and I held a 43 and a 43X, and those guns still feel better than, to me, that 365. The trigger, to me, doesn't feel anything special. Yeah, it's got some nice X-ray sights on it, but other than that, to me, it's just, it does nothing for me still to this day. I just can't, you know, and maybe if I had the XL, maybe I would change a little bit on that, but I just, something about that P365 that just doesn't do it for me. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, the 365 doesn't me either. I did put the Hellcat in my hands, and I was actually pretty impressed with the width of it and the way that it felt. It did feel a lot better than the 365 to me. Not the XL, but I'm not a fan of the XL. But I didn't think the 365, or excuse me, the Hellcat, the way it felt, didn't feel bad. The top is kind of, it seems kind of top heavy, but I haven't personally shot it. However, I know somebody who has it right now, and they're getting crazy accuracy with it. And I mean, have been running it through like USPSA type drills. And I mean, it's doing really, really good. So I don't know. I mean, it's just not for me, but
Right.
you know, it's not anything that I would carry. However, I wouldn't tell anyone else not to. And I understand about all the Springfield stuff, and I'm just talking about the gun as a gun. You know, but I have no reason to buy one personally.
Yeah, that doesn't fit the mold.
Yeah.
You know, and again, I'm not really a fan of any subcompact gun. I don't have any. Mine are all, you know, compacts or larger. So I've never really felt the need to have something small. You know, if
Well,
you,
and I mean, I carry, you know, there's times where, you know, like we've talked about dressing around what you have to carry. You know, there's times where I've carried single stacks, my Shield 45 and my Shield 9mm, where that's about as small as I'll carry. And I've had to carry that just in, you know, some instances. So I think, you know, I wouldn't go down to like a bodyguard or, you know, the little tiny 380. The Shield is probably the smallest I will carry ever.
so two things. Somebody said something about the SK. The SK is almost the same size as a Glock 19. So I don't know if you could really carry the can't go well with the extension mag or whatever, the pinky extension, but I don't know if you could really consider that a real true subcompact. And then Mateo, I think, also mentioned the S9 from Steyr. And interestingly enough, that in itself also is a fairly, while it's considered a subcompact, it is just slightly smaller than a Glock 19 with the grip. So, I mean, it's hard. Like, those are good guns. Those are good choices, but they're not, in my opinion, the prototypical subcompact handgun. You know, when I'm thinking subcompacts, I'm thinking of just, I guess, kind of the combination of a micro type of gun. You know, even an XD Mod 2, the subcompacts are not really that small. I mean, I can get a full purchase on all three of those guns. So to me, I think a subcompact would be like a Glock 26, where you can barely fit two fingers, let alone, you know, the three. So I think you got to have to compare that and decide what you think about those. But for me, it's more or less the idea: subcompacts are guns that I can't get a full purchase on.
Yeah.
And,
we got a question from Arthur Allo. What about the CZ Rami? What do you think about the Rami? We've talked about this before. What do you think about it?
I mean, the Rami's an interesting gun, but it seems like just a big pain in the ass to operate. It's small to begin with. The last time I was able to operate the slide on one, the thing was so hard to pull back and rack that slide, just because it sits so low, because it's so small, and the springs are just super tightly strung. And honestly, I don't really know if you need something like that. I don't know. It's a small gun. That's a subcompact in my opinion.
Yeah.
Is it a good one? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I've shot the Rami. It wasn't mine, but then of course I've taken pictures of it within, you know, sitting in my hand, and the thing is tiny as hell. And then you can get, you know, it comes with that extension or the 14 rounder or something. Right. And I can kind of hang on to that, but the standard grip on it is a joke. Matter of fact, it literally sits like it sits like it's just so tiny. I know some people really like them, some people hate them. So I guess it's kind of like, if you like it, get it and shoot it. I don't think when I shot it, there just wasn't a lot to hang on to, so it wasn't super accurate. I mean, for me, I'm not saying, you know, someone else might be able to shoot holes inside of holes, but not me.
Yeah, Harry's asking about those mini revolvers. I don't know if they look like kind of like Derringers.
Yeah, the little North American arms.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, what do you think about something like that?
I think it's a total last resort gun. The trigger on them, I mean, they're just, they make one that has a fat little grip on it. It's actually one you could kind of hang on to, and it's got an excess big dot sight on the front of it. But if I'm going down to that gun, I mean, I would rather have, you know, the 22 compact, the Smith & Wesson 22 compact, and just carry a little single stack 22 versus that little teeny tiny thing. Because by the time you got it out of your pocket or wherever the hell you're keeping it, you know, you might already be on the ground. I mean, it's just so damn tiny.
Pistol Pete is saying he likes that M&P 2.0 compact. What do you guys think about that subcompact, which is basically the old subcompact, just with the new, you know, stippling, and obviously the new aesthetics to it? But I still think the M&P compact is probably the most least talked about gun out there. I mean, nobody talks about it. Nobody even, even remotely thinks of it as one of the top tier handguns on the market, which I always thought was interesting. I mean, price wise, it's hard to beat. Performance wise, it's hard to beat. Ergonomically, it's hard to beat. And I think they did so many things right. It's hard to understand why that gun just can't ever seem to gain really the notoriety that I think it should have.
Yeah, I mean the M&P compact and the full size, they're great pistols. I think they just lag behind. Like when other companies come out with better stippling and better this and better that. M&P or Smith & Wesson kind of takes a longer time to come to the table. Like I know they're in testing now, but like the MOS guns, they were the first ones, if you think about it, back when they had the core and the M&P performance. Yeah, and the M&P performance and stuff, they had all that stuff. So they were kind of ahead of the game, but then it's like they fell behind. So I don't know if it's their R&D, I don't know where they are, and it could be because they don't really have a big block in the market anymore.
Right.
Because a lot of LE, used to use M&P and now they're using Glock, or they went to Sig or whatever. Right. So I think they just kind of fell behind, but they're great pistols.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably the longest owned gun I have besides the PPQ, and I love it, man. It's such an easy gun to shoot. I mean, it's so easy to shoot this gun, and the size. I just think everything was done right with this, and it's just a shame, like when you see these guns and these manufacturers that really put out good stuff, and for whatever reason, maybe it's the lack of this or that or whatever. I always find it to be a shame that it just never seems to gain its attention. Like even with the APX line, it didn't. Let's be honest, they're nice guns. Most people don't buy them. They don't buy them. And maybe it's because they look ugly or whatever it is. But I mean, the APX for me has been great. I would absolutely put it up against any striker fired handgun out there and say that you're going to get just as good quality, just as good ergos, good shootability. I mean, it's everything and anything that you can think of. And I just think they have terrible marketing. Yeah.
And a lot of, I mean, if you think about it, if a lot of companies really stepped up their marketing, they'd probably get a larger market share. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a lot of great gun manufacturers, and I remember back in the day, it kind of was only Glock and Smith & Wesson and and Ruger. There wasn't just everybody out there making pistols, especially in the polymer market. I mean, it's pretty much flooded. Everybody's making something.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if IWI comes out with the compact Masada. They're supposedly going to do it. I'd like to see it. I'm telling you, man, if they put that in a compact size, like a Glock 19 size, with everything the full size comes out with, and they market it, and it's like maybe, because let's say, I mean, they're probably going for like four and change right now. Could you imagine that gun being like 400 and less as a compact? That thing would sell like crazy.
Yeah. And it very well could. I know, I would think that they would make it. They would kind of be crazy not to, but IWI, I mean, they go to, they do a lot of military stuff. So I know this was their introduction to the striker fire, but who knows where they can take this.
Right. Exactly. And with the modularity of it too, I think that's a huge factor involved. And, I would just like to see some of these manufacturers that come out with these really solid handguns. I'd like to see them devote a little bit more attention to not just the building of it, but also the aftermarket portion of it as well. Mm-hmm. So that instead of you waiting 3 years just to get a set of night sights, they're kind of working with these other manufacturers and handing that out, maybe at 3 months after its release or something, But, things like that are always slow. And I think CZ is notorious for that. First initial runs, you never find anything.
They're probably the worst. But, if you think about like the Masada, I mean, it has SIG sights that fit it. If more companies would come out with like, okay, this takes Glock aftermarket sights or SIG or whatever, something that's already out there and available, that just seems brilliant to me. Why create a whole new marketplace for another manufacturer to have to, redesign a sight, for a gun?
That makes sense.
It makes sense, but not many people, some people want to have, their own this or their own that. Right. But it really hurts them in the long run.
Yeah. And I think it boils down to, the idea that, well, this is my gun, not that gun. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So
let's see here. Yeah, we're getting toward, heck, it's already almost 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
9 o'clock your time.
Yes, sir.
Any quick questions anybody has that they definitely need an answer to?
Boop, 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 boop.
Yeah, I think any small gun is going to be snappy, you know, but a lot of them shoot well. They're just small, so they're, you know, they can't absorb the recoil like some of the larger pistols.
Yeah.
But anything, what do you have coming up? Anything exciting or?
You know, I it's funny, like right now everything's kind of on hold until the end of this weekend. This is the last tourney of the winter season because it's so damn cold out. So I guess after this weekend, I got to do something with this. This is the RDO. This gun is friggin' awesome. I haven't even shot it, but it's like as soon as you touch it, man, you're just like, this is badass.
Yeah.
You know, it's just such a nice gun. So I got to shoot that. I want to do tabletop of that. I also got to shoot some of the CZs, especially the ones that I've dropped some springs in. You know, before I do the comparison between the spring kits, I want to make sure they're shot so I can see what the real difference is when they're being shot. Plus, I can always add in what Kathleen's been asking for about the sights on these. So just to kind of get a feel for what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling. And that's really about it. I mean, it's just, you know, I got to start doing the live chats again on Sundays, or what is it, Sundays? Yeah, Sundays. Yes. I haven't done them in a while. But like I said, it's just been busy between work and the kids. So hopefully that's going to slow down a little bit in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, John, Josh Benware gave you $2 and said, have y'all tried the Honor Guard?
You know, it reminds me a lot of a shield. So I don't know if there's really a benefit to it. I mean, they make some cool Cerakoted ones, that's for sure, if you've been seeing them. But I don't know. I mean, is it enough to really change my attitude towards a shield? I still think the shield is probably, in my humble opinion, the best single stack gun out there. I love the shield. I can't see myself ever going away from something like that.
Yeah, the Honor Guard, you know, when they first came out, they had actually a kind of a trigger recall. They had some of them with problems, but they came out with the one that had the extended slide, or excuse me, the extended rail. And, you know, it was like if you ever had to gut check one. And I mean, that's a good, you know, that's a good feature to have. Right. But man, it just looked weird. And exactly, I mean, it's like they ripped off Shield or M&P Shield and they kind of ripped off someone else. And I never really could get into them, especially for the prices they were trying to get for them. I mean, they were more expensive than the Shields when they first came out. But I don't even see them. I used to see them in stores a lot, but they would just sit there. And now I don't even see them in stores at all. Yeah. Yeah. I think people just.
They're very hard. You know, I mean, they have in my local, but they're so overpriced there. It's ridiculous. I mean, you can find them on a lot of the online places for fairly cheap still. Yeah. So, you know, it's unfortunate. I just think it never really went anywhere. And I mean, they're good guns from what I'm seeing. People say they're super reliable, you know? Yeah. But so really quick, Art asked if there's any guns that we think are going to go up in value. It's kind of interesting, you know, like this gun right here. Crazy enough, I'm thinking about selling it. Whoops. I know Big J told me don't do it the other day. But I was going to give this to one of my kids when I'm dead, and neither one of those little bastards want it right now. They were like, "Oh, we don't even like that gun. We like the M9A3 and we like the 92 better." So I'm like, God, you know, then what am I going to do with this? I don't really have a reason to have this gun, which is weird.
Well, once they appreciate as your son gets older, he might appreciate it more once he checks into it and stuff like that. But I wouldn't get rid of that Ghost. I really wouldn't.
It is very pretty. Every time I hold it, I'm like, ooh, it's so pretty.
Yeah. So, but you know, I mean, like I said, people can do what they want, get rid of what they want, but someone would probably buy that up pretty quick.
Yeah. I don't know. I tell you, the other two are really nice. This one, I'm just not certain about, man. I mean, I like it. It's a nice gun, but it's just, I don't know, man. You know, it's hard to. You're right. They're hard to find. And is it something you keep forever, or is it something that you part ways with if you can get the right price? I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's something you have to decide.
I know. I just want somebody to make the decision for me.
Yeah. Let's see. Roman's best place to buy guns, Bud's Gun Shop, or Grab a Gun out of Texas. I buy a ton of guns from Grab a Gun. They always treat me right, and I don't have. But I mean, they're local to me, so I don't have to pay a transfer fee or anything. But I do have to pay tax on it. But whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I will do my local gun shop, which is Walkill River Small Arms. You know, Frank usually gets me really good deals on guns because I'm in there way too much. And then I will go to Gun Broker. But a lot of times what I'm looking for on Gun Broker are those really good deals that no matter where you go, you just can't find them. Like, for example, the P10 I got, it was used, but it was like never shot. And it was $325.
Yeah.
So I said, why not? And I got on Gunbroker, and it didn't cost much.
Yeah, you've already got 3 or 4 keep its.
Yeah.
So,
No, Roman's is saying to keep it as well.
yeah.
What if somebody offered me like $700? Should I sell it?
It's up to you, but I think you could actually even get more than that for it if you wanted to sell it.
I mean, honestly, though, like I look at this and then I look at the 90-2, and that 90-2 is such a unique gun now that I actually, I think it's, for me, just more valuable.
But if you also look at it, I mean, those are newer guns. So the gun that, you know, the Ghost, it's an older gun. So they're going to make stuff different and better, or, you know, upgrades.
Sure. I don't know. It's hard to beat this gun. I'll tell you, man, this thing shoots really well. And it just, everything about it just was really perfect, you know, from the get-go. And the Ghost is nice too.
Yeah, and you know, and Rodham, I was going to say this, but Rodham is like, next year you will want it again, and I even told you that if you sell it, then you're going to wish you never got rid of it. But you know, just like what we've talked about here tonight, okay, you've had, this will be what, your 5th P10C, it'll be your 25th Glock 19. So I mean, that's what I'm trying to say. So I know, but you know, and now and you know, like other people have said, and I've told you, you're kind of a Beretta guy, so it's like, why not have it?
Yeah.
Get rid of something else, you know, that you know, that you just really don't, you know, that you don't want to fall in love with.
That's true.
So
Roman said he'll give me 600 for my M9A3. That's a no. That I really like that M9A3. The thing is beautiful. Such a nice gun. Crazy nice. Crazy nice.
Yeah.
Let's see.
All right. Well, I don't see any other pertaining questions, but
they're asking how much I want for it. You guys can always email me and we can talk if I decide to.
Yeah, and that's, you know, like I told you, get rid of a gun that you can find anywhere, and you can't find that one anywhere.
But is it worth keeping though? That's the ultimate question.
Is any of your guns worth keeping?
There's yes.
Okay, then. Okay.
You know, like,
well, that gun is actually kind of a hard to find gun.
Right.
So, you know,
but is it as hard to find as it is this P01 green?
You can spray paint or Cerakote any gun, any P01 green.
That's true.
Can. I mean, you know, that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, very true.
So, you know, but you can't always find a Ghost. So there you go.
That's true, man.
And like you said, oh, I can just get a Beretta and put Ghost parts on it. And like I told you, that's like taking a 442, a real 442 like I had. And then people used to take the old Cutlass Supremes and put 442 stickers on it. It's not a damn 442.
Right.
So.
All right. You guys are convinced me, maybe.
So just shut up.
All right. I'm going to shut up, damn it. All right. So I guess it's the witching hour. It is now 7 minutes past the hour. So if there's anything else that you'd like to say that you're up to or whatever, now's your chance to do it.
I've got a couple of guns I'll be doing some videos on. I'm in the process of changing ranges since, you know, Crossfire closed down. So I've got to get set up with that, and then I'll get some more videos out. But that's kind of what you know, I'm testing some more stuff. So I got to get in the range and start testing it. So that's kind of what I've got going on.
Very good. Very good. And that's about it. But, you know, again, we appreciate you guys sticking around. I think we hit around 70-something people. And as we said in the beginning, this is not going to be going anywhere anytime soon. You know, obviously there may be some times where I cannot join or Big J can't join due to work and other obligations. But at the end of the day, at this point, 2 guys chat lives, gentlemen.
Exactly.
So with that said, thanks for joining us. Appreciate the support. Again, check us all out on YouTube, Instagram. Don't be shy to join my little marketing scam called Subscribe Star, where I charge you guys $3 to just help out, and then I just kind of talk to you and show you some shit before I do other things. So I hope you guys got a great night going, and that's it. Have a great night.
Thanks, everyone. We appreciate y'all very much.
See ya.
Carry on.
All right.